Do you want to work remotely? Do you want to work from home? Do you want to wake up, roll out of bed, and decide where you're going to work today? Telephone triage nursing is just that. Do you want to work from home? Do you want to work remotely? Do you want to decide where you're going to work today? As a registered nurse, roll out of bed and decide simply, what is your view today? Telephone triage nursing gives the nurse the freedom to work remotely. Working from home. You can create your own office. You can create your own professional office. As a registered nurse, you can have your own office, your own little bulletin board, your pictures of your family, your view of your pool, or your dog bed under your desk. These are things that you can create as a registered nurse if you work in telephone triage nursing. You control your environment. You control background music. Christmas time, you want to put on Christmas music or Hanukkah music or whatever you want, you can do that. It is your office. You can spend time with your family on your breaks. You click out, you walk out of your office, and boom, here's your poop sit, here's your dog, here's your cat, here's your bird, here's your maybe nothing. Maybe you're just going to have a cup of tea. If you live in Florida, maybe you jump in your pool. If you live in New Hampshire, maybe you lay in a snowbank. But that's your break. That is your break. Not a dirty, smelly, disgusting nurse break room with leftover Chinese food from 3 years ago. Not having coffee with coworkers who you may or may not care for. You're home, you're controlling what you do on your breaks. You can breastfeed your kids on your breaks. This is something I did, or why I kind of went into telephone triage nursing, because I had a baby and I didn't want to leave her. So I trained to do telephone triage nursing. I've done it for 15 years now, and I love it. I breastfed all my kids for 3 years because I could. Maybe I don't know if that's what everyone would want to do, but it's an option, right? You choose your uniform. You can wear pajamas. You could wear an evening gown. You can, I don't know, you could any whatever, right? Flip flops, scuba gear, whatever you want to do, and you make your own health a priority. So a lot of people will have standing desks. A lot of people will have reclining chairs, special ergonomic things. I know when I will show other coworkers, other remote coworkers, this is my office, this is my office. We're all very personalized in how we set up our office and autonomy. Obviously, as a registered nurse, we're not bottom of the totem pole, but we're not top either. So, you deal with doctors and you deal with patients and bureaucracy and those kind of things. When you're an RN, even if you're not the charge nurse, even if you're not the supervisor, if you're a telephone triage nurse, you're autonomous. Each call you take from beginning to end, that's your call. That is your patient. That is you choosing to do what you want to do. That's you choosing to do what you want to do with your monitor, with your screen, with your uniform, with everything. Working from home as a registered nurse makes you feel um, independent, confident, professional, brilliant, helpful, empathetic. It's just a fabulous, fabulous thing to do as a nurse, I think. Okay, so this is where I want you to imagine working as a registered nurse from your own house, right? So your home, where would you put your desk? Where would you put your office? Just imagine it. No commute. You're not waking up and driving who knows where to park, to have to get your coffee, to not have a comfortable chair, to have to worry about how you look, to have to worry about do you have the right shoes? Did you forget your watch? Everything is there. Everything is where you want. So this is really where you just take a breath and you think about, Is that something that I would like? Is that something that I would want to do? And it's not like you're locked in your house 24/7. I mean, you're going to be able to go out and do what you want to do when you're not working. A lot of people work night shift when they work from home because if you work till 3 in the morning, all you do is click off, go to bed, right? So you can get that extra pay. You can get that shift differential for half the night, or, work from 4 a.m. to whatever, or you could just work, 9 to 5. But, there is extra pay for weekends and nights, and you get to put your experience, your knowledge, all that nursing experience, all those years of school and grueling studying and taking care of patients at the bedside, which is needed, before you become a telephone triage nurse. So, but now you get to take all of that you did, all that time you put in, and you get to put it to work for you. And you're making a nursing salary. You are making a registered nurse salary in your pajamas, in your house, on your own terms. And there's so many different telephone triage jobs now. It's not like when I first started 15 years ago and you had to really go, oh, what is this? Where is this? Where are they doing this? How can I do this? There wasn't a lot of options when I wanted to go remotely at the time, but now there is. There's so many different companies. Salaries are competitive. Benefits are offered. It's just really, it's up to you how you want to go about doing it, but it's definitely something that has worked for me. Okay, so in future videos and presentations, I'm going to talk about how do you go from the bedside to remote nursing, because it's definitely a skill. It's hard to assess patients, or different, I'll say, to assess patients without having the luxury of looking at them. But to just imagine what it's like to go from bedside nursing to remote nursing. So I was an ER nurse. I did peds, I did NICU, I did agency work. So I worked all over the place. And there's always, feces you're cleaning off people. There's always vomit, always blood, always some sort of exposure. Always different smells that you encounter. I definitely look fondly back upon my trauma nursing days. I could get a line on anybody, but when you compare it to remote nursing for your own health and well-being, okay, I'm not talking about, when I was younger and I wanted to get out there and get in there and get on that helicopter and all that. I'm talking about when you get a little older and your back hurts, or maybe you've suffered illness. A lot of us remote nurses went through health things, cancer or whatnot, and so you're changing gears. And it's awesome that you can use all your skills, use all that experience, not going to waste. Because if I was still in the ER, either I would have been promoted or I would have been let go, because it's hard to keep up. It's hard to continue to work at that level in your 50s or late 40s or whatever. Maybe you're young and you're just burnt out already. I don't know. But to go from bedside to remote, it's definitely a luxury that I don't think a lot of people know exists. It carries its own new set of rules and new set of skills and all that you have to learn. But it's definitely a switch of gears. It's I would say, I don't want to say prestigious, but it's funny how you're in the pit, you're in the trenches, you're in the ER, and I used to tell people, they'd say, what's your job? I get yelled at all day. I mean, essentially you do. When you're a nurse, you kind of get yelled at all day long. But when you work remotely, sure, you have difficult calls. I have a whole video on those. But you hang up the phone, go make yourself a cup of tea, pet your dog, snuggle your kid, turn on your flat screen during your break, take a shower, I mean, whatever you want to do. You got 15 minutes, you got an hour lunch still, and you're home. Walk your dog. If you love exercising, I don't know, run up and down the block. But that's on your terms. So definitely a switch of gear, bedside to remote, but it's I think it's promotes wellness. And learning how to switch gears, though, when you're home. I mean, you definitely, I'm going to have a whole presentation on that as well. But once you learn how to switch gears, it's euphoric. Okay, so I'm a really big Disney fan. My dad, I don't know if you've ever been to Disney World, he did the original animatronics for the It's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. They call it a ride, but it's really more a show. If you've ever seen it, it's a great big beautiful tomorrow. So, and my dad was very family oriented, much like Disney. He never met Walt, he met Roy, and worked with Roy. But anyway, so I'm a big Disney fan. So this is just a quote. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Of course, this is sort of ironic because as a telephone triage nurse, all you do is talk, right? Talk and type, talk and type, talk and type. Very different kind of nursing, but so this video is, I have been telling myself forever I am going to start sharing my secret to being a happy nurse, my secret to working remotely. A lot of nurses won't tell you how to get a job remotely because what do we do when we have a gold mine? What do we do when we find the pot of gold? We don't want to share it. People don't want to share, sadly, their lottery. Well, I am going to share this with you the best as I can, and hopefully you can love nursing again. Okay, so train to be a telephone triage nurse. Okay, so how do you become a telephone triage nurse? I mean, obviously, it's very specialized. There's no exact training program per se, like a CEU or something on the NCLEX. It's not covered in the NCLEX. So it's definitely a skill that isn't really taught. So what I want to do is create a program and a bunch of videos and information and a location where nurses can come and use this as a resource to be a great telephone triage nurse and to like telephone triage nursing, because some people go into telephone triage nursing, you get hired by a company, they give you a 2-week orientation, and then boom, right? So knowing the skill set, knowing what to expect, knowing how to take a call, how to take a difficult call, how to sit for 8 hours at a time, right? That's something we're not used to. How to work in a call center if you're in a call center. So just those kind of things, just having those skills, having that training, therapeutic communication review and those types of things. So, and joining other registered nurses that are moving from bedside to telephonic care. So just entering into virtual care it's very different. So training is important, having the confidence, having the skill set to move from the bedside to the phone and work remotely, be autonomous, be a telephone triage nurse. Okay, summary. So in summary, and I am a very optimistic kind of, what's the word? I don't know. I'm just a very motivated, I don't know, I want to say inspiring, but I'm always looking to make my life better. Life is short. If you've been an emergency room nurse or worked in nursing, you know that. We know that. We know tomorrow isn't a given. COVID really took everybody by surprise and really opened up telephonic nursing to many different people, many different registered nurses, doctors. You see a lot more virtual care options out there. So this registered nurse generation of registered nurses in this atmosphere we're in right now, coming off of COVID, you can do this. You can work from home. You can have that work-life balance you want. You can quit your job in your, where do you work? And endoscopy suite where your surgeon is yelling at you and the other nurse is out to get you, and you always have to stay late and you get home on time and you missed your son's baseball game. You can leave that. You can do this. You can share all of your knowledge, all your expertise, everything you've learned. You're not losing anything. You're not going into a different job. You're not going from nursing to I don't know, working at a department store. You are going up in your career, so you're taking everything physical and tactile that you've done, and you're turning it into wisdom, knowledge, and power. and you're taking your passion of nursing that may be dying. Let's be serious after COVID. I think people are burnt out. Nurses are burnt out. I have a statistic on a different slide, but I think it's 100.8% of nurses left their job during COVID. That's a lot. That's insane. That's how could that be a statistic? I didn't. Obviously, I was a triage nurse. I made really good money during COVID. COVID was fabulous for me. Fabulous for triage nursing. As far as career goes, of course. I mean, I'm not talking globally, and it's obviously I'm not talking about that. We're just talking about professional growth and that kind of thing. But this telephonetriage.com is where you are going to start making your future in remote nursing. Your future, why you went into nursing in the first place, might have changed, right? But it had to have something with caring, curing, and intelligence. Nurses are intelligent. We are intellectual. We everything you have to know to become a nurse is it's awesome. It's overwhelming. People look to you for your expertise. People want to know what the nurse has to say. They want your advice. It doesn't feel that way a lot of times when you work in an office or in a hospital because people want what they want. You know, why is this late? Why am I here? Why isn't he discharged? Why did you call the doctor? You know, la 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 la. It's just like you're just constantly berated. But to be able to step away from that and find your passion again, to find why you went into nursing in the first place. I mean, to me, that's what telephone triage nursing is. It's being able to take my love of nursing and people and caring and compassion and parlay it into speaking to people, um, into being with patients for real, like in their house, on their phone, you know, on a suicide call, which I know sounds sad and not really inspiring, but I think nurses want to be there. We want to help. I mean, that is what we want to do. That's why we started doing this. You know, we want those situations. But being able to do it and then walk out and sit at your table and make yourself your favorite meal or your cup of tea in your favorite mug, in your bathrobe, with your kids and your dog and your husband or your, I don't know, maybe you have money, maybe you live at the beach, but you look at the ocean. I don't know, just for me, it's just it's the best work-life balance I think a nurse could have. So obviously, I just want to say thank you for listening. I know I have a voice like Kermit the Frog, and I hate listening to myself on audio. When I first started telephone triage nursing, I used to actually do a little bit of an accent. So I would talk like this. Do you have any vomiting or diarrhea? Because I just don't like the way that my voice sounds, but it is what it is. And you got to get used to your voice because you know, you review yourself and you review your calls. And luckily, the patients and the callers hear your voice more than you do. But, you know, we'll get into this, but part of becoming a really good triage nurse is listening to yourself and going, oh, I could have said that, I could have done that, or, you know, and in the actual calls, you know, it's definitely techniques and things like that. But obviously, you can reach me at telephonetriage@gmail.com if you have any questions or you need support, or job leads. I'm not going to put them on here because I do work for a couple different places, but it was great to meet you all and virtually meet you and talk to you, with you. And I hope you really follow this, and I hope you look into telephone triage nursing and or become a telephone triage nurse, work from home, work remotely, and live your best life. Thank you.